All of this exists because of me. If I don't innovate, somebody else will.
Without him, there'd be no Jurassic Park. Or would they? Because he actually has a brother, Elliot Wu, who also is a geneticist, who also makes dinosaurs and works with InGen. But what happened to him? Where is he? Why is he not even mentioned in any of the films or media? There's even a theory that he replaced Dr. Wu, but to answer all these questions, we're going to have to start right at the beginning. Very little is known about Dr. Henry Wu's backstory, any of his family or siblings. He never once mentions any of his family or siblings in any of the novels or films. So you might be wondering how we find out he has a brother. Well, let me continue. Henry serves as a minor character in Jurassic Park and is a major antagonist in Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion. He is the one who is solely responsible for bringing the clone dinosaurs back to life in Jurassic Park and again in Jurassic World. One could say he is the father of all these clone dinosaurs. In regards to his backstory, we know literally nothing. Henry Wu is a Chinese American from Ohio, and that's it. That's his entire background and story. That's all we've got. He moves on to be recruited by Hammond directly for InGen's project to recreate the dinosaurs, where Hammond and Wu cloned a baby elephant in Lockwood Manor before moving on to the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Because if you remember, Hammond and Lockwood were business partners way before Jurassic Park even began. At some point during this period, they recruited Elliot Wu, but not to work in Jurassic Park, but to work on Isla Sorna, the cutting room floors, so to speak, where all the dinosaurs were bred and born, before moving them over to Jurassic Park. Wu was the chief officer on Nublar, while Elliot Wu was the chief officer on Isla Sorna. Now, the Jurassic Park incident obviously occurs. Wu probably left the island on the C-3208 boat during the storm evacuation, but Elliot, on the other hand, he actually stayed on Isla Sorna, overseeing the island as its caretaker. But more on that later on. After the Jurassic Park incident, obviously InGen fell into some huge financial trouble. Wu returned to Isla Nublar in November 1994 as part of the operation to deconstruct the ruined Jurassic Park. His job was cataloguing the specimen numbers and to identify exactly how many animals were breeding. Although InGen was financially struggling, Dr. Wu kept leading the research team during the financial struggle. The breeding dinosaurs had shown to him not only that the DNA of various species could be combined, but also their observed characteristics. This is where he gained the knowledge to create splicing, the first hybrid dinosaurs. And in 1998, the Masrani Global Corporation bought and took over InGen. The CEO, Simon Masrani, promoted Dr. Wu within the ranks of the InGen company in December 2000. Wu supervised the creation of new dinosaurs in the Hammond Creation Lab for the new Jurassic World.
Who authorized you to do this?
You did. Bigger. Scarier. Cooler, I believe is the word that you used in your memo.
But you might be asking yourself, what has happened to Elliot Wu? He seems to have just faded away. He was on Isla Sorna, he was a chief biologist, geneticist, and what happened to him then? Well, let me continue to explain. Now, during his time working under Masrani Global, Wu created the first genetically modified hybrid dinosaur to ever exist. That was the Scorpius Rex. Obviously, Masrani ordered this destroyed because it was so ugly and unstable, he didn't want it on display for guests. He said it was too hideous.
You are acting like we are engaged in some kind of mad science. Nothing in Jurassic World is natural, and if their genetic code was pure, many of them would look quite different, but you didn't ask for reality, you asked for more teeth.
I never asked for a monster.
Monster is a relative term. To a canary, a cat is a monster. We're just used to being the cat.
Following this, Wu and many other InGen scientists were involved in the creation of the second genetically modified hybrid, what we come to know as the Indominus Rex. Now we know how this goes. The Indominus Rex escapes, we eventually have the Indoraptor's creation, and then we go into Dominion, and we see a massive change in Henry Wu, an almost complete flip on his personality. No longer is he this type of power-hungry individual. He goes more to a sincere, docile man who wants to correct these mistakes and stop the cloning of dinosaurs. He's completely 180'd, and the reason for this? He is no longer Dr. Henry Wu. He is now Elliot Wu. Now let me explain, that is a mind blower right there. Elliot Wu was indeed chief geneticist on Isla Sorna until Isla Sorna got abandoned, but Elliot decided to stay behind and become the caretaker of Isla Sorna, looking after and overseeing the entirety of the island. Now Elliot's description is he is a frail man, nothing like his other brother where he was quite lean built but didn't look frail. Elliot on the other hand was a frail man, almost a broken man, very similar to what we see Dr. Wu looking like in Jurassic World Dominion. In fact, almost identical to Elliot Wu. Almost as if Elliot Wu has replaced his brother Dr. Wu. Now what would have become of Dr. Wu if that was the case? We know Dr. Wu never mentions his brother, his family or any of his siblings. Is that because it's now Elliot Wu? He doesn't want to give himself away? And how would Henry Wu just been replaced? Let me continue to explain. In the novel, Henry Wu dies at the hands of velociraptors. Now, with Elliot Wu and Henry Wu looking basically very similar, it is possible that Elliot Wu could easily replace Henry Wu. I mean, anyone who was originally working in Jurassic Park has either been fired, eaten, or no longer works here as InGen folded through. He could easily replace his brother with little to no resistance. Hammond out of the way because he obviously dies in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Who would know? Well, his brother if he was still alive. Now, this is obviously combining the novel part with the movie part, and you might even be asking yourself, where does Elliot Wu even fit in with this entire theory and lore? Now, canonically, Elliot Wu is bound to the novel, not the films, and even in the novels, they cut him from the ending, so he didn't really exist, as so to speak. But that doesn't stop us Jurassic hardcore fans or theorists. Oh no, so here's what actually happened to Elliot Wu. It is correct that he was on Isla Sorna, and he was the chief biologist engineer on that island. When the island was eventually evacuated, he decided to stay behind as his caretaker. That is all true. He runs into the team from the Lost World, which is Malcolm and everybody else. He explains the situation to them. This was an ending which was planned for the Lost World Jurassic Park, but was eventually cut. But as you can see here, here's some of the transcript. At this point, Elliot Wu would have been canon, Dr. Wu would have been dead, and if Michael Crichton was still alive, I would be so interested to see how he would continue this story with Elliot Wu and Dr. Wu's death. It seems very likely that Elliot Wu would have taken over Dr. Wu's original role in Jurassic World. I mean, they both top-class geneticists, they both worked for InGen, they both created dinosaurs. It would be the logical step to replace him with his brother, surely. The only thing which really wouldn't make sense with that theory is obviously the change in personality, because obviously if Elliot Wu took over after Henry Wu's death in Jurassic Park, it would imply that Elliot Wu has the change in personality, not Henry, because he would be dead. So there is a flaw in the theory there with the change of personality. But one could say that was Elliot's bitterness taking over at first, creating the Indominus and hybrid, because he wanted to be better than his brother who created the original dinosaurs on Jurassic Park. So he wanted to be better, bigger, more teeth. He created the Indominus, but then realized that this wasn't the way, and he was kind of destroying his brother's legacy, hence the turn in personality. But alas, all this is just a theory, a game theory. Sorry, I had to do that. But yes, unfortunately, Elliot Wu was cut from the novel, and he was never mentioned in the films or universe since that point. But it doesn't stop us coming up with these theories just like we did. Do you have any theories on Elliot Wu? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you like theories, I have a 5 Nights at Freddy's theory channel. Go on ahead over and subscribe. But that gives me another question. What was the Spinosaurus? Was that a hybrid? What even happened to it after Jurassic Park? And where was it during the events of the Lost World? All that is answered on the channel. Go check them videos out. I'm Shadows, hope you've enjoyed today's video. And remember, all this is just a walk in the park. Bye bye now.